Well, it's just like I.
Welcome to Linux Saloon, a place to discuss tech, open source, and where Linux is always on tap. Each show I have a talk about Linux projects such as a Linux distribution, a desktop environment, or application. We also chat about the news or any variety of topics from the community. Anything that's Linux tech and open source related is on the table for discussion. I'm Nate, a Linux fitness and vintage tech enthusiast with an almost unhealthy obsession with the OpenSUSE project. Although I will say, based on because I'm on a lot of the email news. What is that called? You know what I'm talking about, Dale. You talked about AGMA on it, and it was it's not news group. What is it called? Mailing list. Man, am I slow today? This is going to be a great show, everybody. Although I will say, Dale probably has more of a. He might be past me when it comes to the OpenSUSE thing. Like I think he's far surpassed me. Like if you look at his contributions in the mailing list, way more going on there from Dale. Just saying.
Thank you. I try. I'm just trying to keep up with you, man.
No, man, you've well past me. I'm like, I think I've pulled off into the gravel and I'm changing a tire. Anyway, so or I had a little caravan, and Zebedee boss just nailed me with a semi, and that's probably why I'm on the side of the road. Or maybe I don't know. Anyway, with me today, I got this great panel of people. I got Dale, of course, got Zebedee boss, I got Jinda, Hip Dad, Ben, Full Scale for me, also known as Mike, and Mike Chilson. So how is everybody?
Excellent.
Yeah, doing good.
Good.
Well, if you would be so kind as to like that smash button or smash out like button, and actually, if you don't like it, you can downvote it too, but just make sure you hit it twice to really send that signal home. And then you can subscribe if you've not done so already. Also be a part of the conversation during the week on the Telegram and Discord groups that we have. Also, be sure to do the straw poll, keepaway.com/strawpoll. And kind of weigh in on your thoughts about Quark OS 2604, I guess.
Just a quick heads up, Nate. Don't hit the like button twice because it turns it off.
That's right. Just hit that once. You can be really gentle with that one, but you can hit you can downvote it twice. Or you can hit 4 times. It's gotta be an even number. Even number.
If it turns white, it means it's going to clean everything up.
That's right. It'll just take a while. So on the docket for today, we're going to be talking about the Quark OS. I'll do some housekeeping, a little bit of news if there's time. That's a maybe. But for our community of free poll, we got Mike Chilson. He's got we're going to do a little like our first session of digging into the terminal a little bit. This is actually for our special user, Anna Rita, who loves the terminal. We're going to try and help her out. Actually, I don't know if she's in the chat yet, but make sure I bring that up again a little bit later. But we're a segment just around that. But first, what we're doing in Linux and tech, I wanted to talk a little bit about cameras and Home Assistant. Now, I will say I would not call myself an expert by any means when it comes to cameras and so forth. And I don't really want to show views of my house right now because that seems a little bit weird. Maybe someday. But anyway, so I've been using a Home Assistant now for about 5 years, almost 5 years now. And it's been great. I use it for controlling all the lights, no regrets. It's really a great way to kind of have good control over all your things and your home and whatnot. So I think the big missing piece was having some sort of a security piece of it. So eventually I'm going to integrate locks. I just haven't chosen a platform yet, and I just started doing cameras. Now I have a total of I purchased 4 cameras, and 3 of them have dual lenses. So whatever you want to consider that, 7 cameras in. And one of them has I can control it, which is kind of fun. I can do it within Home Assistant or with the app. So anyway, the kind of camera I got was from TP-Link. It's called Tapo, and it is largely open source. They even have a GNU license pamphlet inside of it. It does. I would say it is a little bit hacky how I have to use it with Home Assistant though. Not completely, but a little bit, and kind of there's. I don't know if it's a problem with. I don't think it's a problem with my network, but these are Wi-Fi cameras, and I don't know if I like Wi-Fi cameras. I think, but I want to test it out, in multiple areas, and it was very quick to install. So I'm going to be trying some other cameras out. But anyway, so these cameras are they're Wi-Fi cameras. They connect with a USB power, basically, and a USB-C connector, like a waterproof one on the back, which is pretty cool. And then I mounted them up on my lab out in the back, a couple on my barn, so I can actually. So I don't have them on my house. I have them watching my house, which also might seem a little bit creepy. But it's so I can, if I see somebody coming, I can watch the driveway and so forth. It worked out better this way. Then I can watch my animals as well. And then if somebody's in the very back over there, I can watch what they're doing, but only a portion of the property, not all of it yet. And the nice thing is now I get a notification on my phone that I can check to see what's going on. And I don't have a recording solution set up yet, but I'm looking at Frigate right now for doing recording. I don't know how long I'm gonna do recordings for, so I got to figure that out. I don't know how much storage I want to put to this whole project. I'm still kind of figuring some of these things out. But I will say Home Assistant is a pretty great platform for looking at video feeds. It's I think it's called RTSP or RSTP streams. I can't remember. Let me look here. Make sure I get that jumble of acronyms correct. RSTP. And so it's a standard like video over networking. So it's real-time streaming protocols, what that stands for. And it allows me to be able to watch the feeds actively. And I really do appreciate that because I can also, with Home Assistant, click on it and make it bigger so you can actually see the whatever video feed it is you want to look at. And one of the 3 cameras that have multiple lenses on it, I have the kind that also it'll track, like it actually it can sense if it's a person or vehicle, whatever. It'll track them, which is it's also kind of creepy but cute at the same time, like when it's looking up at you, whatever. But so if it catches me, the camera catches me, it'll actually kind of lock in on me and so forth, which I think is really handy. And also, if there's people, on the property, they'll know they're being watched, which is exactly what I'd like, because I do have people because I rent space and so forth for storage. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. I would say I'm probably 80% happy with it at this point, and I'm hoping to kind of expand it further and do a little bit more. But having it all local is important to me. With the option of cloud, I guess is fine. But the big key is I want everything local, so that I can. All the streams are happening all internal to my network. That's it. And they're on a separate, Wi-Fi thing too. So they're not on the traffic for everything else in the house. Anyway, so I know Hip Dad, you were saying that you are you wish your cameras on your network, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I currently have the Wise cameras, and you have to subscribe to Google to get video recording. And they're pretty shady with if you don't subscribe to them, and it takes snapshots when there's activity, but they make it janky, so they give you just enough of a snapshot that you're curious as to what happened and what's going on. Like if you see a movement or you see a car pulling in your driveway, and then you have no idea whether it went all the way in the driveway or what. And so you end up resubscribing to it so you get the video feed again.
Well, I actually have some good news for you in this regard. If you chose to get into Home Assistant, there is a way to directly access those and bypass all the cloud stuff with those cameras.
Which versions?
And it's within Wise, WYZE. In their app. There's a native there's a native options in there where you can set the stream URL, so forth. So you can actually do a direct RTSP stream from it. So there's a way to do that. Now, it's not an official add-on in Home Assistant, but there is a way to add the integration for the Wise cameras.
Okay, well, I'll need some documentation on that, because the last time I checked, I have version 3 cameras, and they're not compatible with that. And the other cameras I have are the pan and tilts, and they're not compatible with that, supposedly. Back when I checked, probably about half a year ago.
So I put a link in the YouTube chat, as well as the Linux Saloon live chat. You can see I got to the Home Assistant documentation on it. So maybe there could be some cameras that don't work with it, I guess. So see if that any of that information there is helpful or not.
I appreciate it, sir.
Yeah.
So Nate, you said that they connect via USB.
Yeah, yes, for power only.
Okay, so where does that USB cable run from to? I mean, do you have like 100-foot cable running down the back of your garden to where the how are you powering these things?
I'm glad you asked. So on my lab, I basically I put a hole into the wall and went on the inside. Is how I did it. And then in my barn, well, there's so many holes in my barn anyway. Adding one wasn't a big deal. I am actually patching those. Like today, I spent the last like 8-10 hours today power washing, caulking, and painting my barn. So most of those holes are going to go away. But yeah, that's how I did it. I powered it that way.
So the power is inside the barn, and each individual camera has got its own power unit?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
So ideally, there's some other cameras I'm looking at, and I haven't chosen that, so I don't want to say what yet. But I'm looking at doing PoE cameras instead, or power over Ethernet. So those do require a power over Ethernet, thing, but basically just run an Ethernet cable to it, and that would be a more reliable connection than the Wi-Fi. And so that's what I'm buying next. So basically I just have to put one, basically just run some Ethernet, some Cat5, or actually Cat6 now. Cat5 is old. That's like 10 years ago now, I think, or maybe 15. I don't know. Anyway, run some Cat6 to it, and then have it powered from the switch directly to the camera itself, and that's how it would be powered, and then also the data would come back through that. So that's what I'm going to be doing for other cameras on the lab, and then based on how I think performance works out with the Wi-Fi cameras, I may end up replacing those with wired cameras. We'll see how it goes though. And what I do like about Home Assistant is it has, at least for the Tapo cameras, I have all the functions in there, most of them. I couldn't find a way to do the presets to trigger those within Home Assistant, but since they'll go to specific locations, whatever, you can set views of it. I can't trigger that, but I do have it set to automatically go back to a home one essentially. And I think Ethernet, power over Ethernet would be a better ultimately. So we're probably gonna go that direction next, but. Anyway, Home Assistant's pretty cool. Those additional integrations, pretty cool. It's just yet another feature you can do with that. And then, Mike Chilson said I should put a camera on my chickens to live stream my chickens. So I suppose I could probably do that. And I don't know. That seems kind of weird though.
That's why you need to do it.
Because it's weird.
Yes.
I suppose. I mean,
You'd be surprised how many people you would get to watch it.
Yep.
Okay, confession. I do actually watch live streams of chickens.
See, I knew it.
But it's just to have like background noise, and they make, it's almost like just you put on the TV, whatever, and then it's watching. So I could watch my own chickens, I suppose. So Daniel Yant says, I don't think I configured this properly. He says, I think home systems would be good for Linux router projects. Yes, I think, and there's actually a really good, I never actually wrote an article or did a video on this, but I took an old WatchGuard firewall that was just retired. It was like retired, no longer could be used. And I put OpenSense on there, which is actually BSD based, and so I upcycled it. What would you call that? Like repurposed. Anyway, I turned e-waste into something useful, better than what I had before. That's running my network. And maybe that's why I have problems from time to time. I don't know, because I built it. So, who knows? Anyway, so yeah, good times. I'll make sure I put the links in the show notes for Home Assistant, and then also the different integrations that I used as well. So anyway, oh yeah, Master Billy Quizboy, he says check out Dockerwise, Dockerwise Bridge. So that might be something else you could check out too. HipDad. I did see a note on that. It's something else you could look at.
Okay. Well, right now I'm looking where you have to install a specific RTSP firmware to my camera for,
Okay.
for version 3 and pan. But all of mine have to have the firmware. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So maybe there's a firmware option then to get that.
Yeah.
Get that
I'll
working
have to
properly.
double check. Yeah. I miss my old X10 cameras, and I just found out when you brought it up, I all of a sudden remembered the actual name, and X10 cameras are still available. They're so wonderful, and they're cheap.
What's the resolution though? I would think that it would have the same sort of a data throughput.
Got 1080p outdoor Wi-Fi. You got pan tilt zoom Wi-Fi. You got 1080p HD floodlight. I mean, I'm just now looking at the website again. I mean, because I didn't know that, but they were actually first in wireless cameras this is back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And their receivers were shaped like, best way to describe them, they were shaped like Croc shoes. The receiver was.
So a little bit
And
silly.
you take the camera and they're little, they were big, they were huge. And they plugged into RSA jacks. And you had to have a video capture card on your computer to be able to use them on your computer. But once they were hooked up, I had 7 of them at one time when I was doing live streaming on Ustream back in the day. Yeah,
okay.
They were fun.
I had a bunch of X10 stuff at one time. Then I got Insteon, and now I'm phasing out Insteon. X10 is gone, and then I have I'm doing mostly Wi-Fi right now devices.
Be exploring the X10 again because it feels like an old friend.
Kind of like X11. Feels like an old friend, right, Zem? Nope. No, Dale.
Yeah. Right now, it's the old friend that won't go away because you got Wayland installed, and you go looking, and there's still X11 modules hidden in places.
X11,
like,
we love you. Come back.
Yeah.
It's the old friend that won't go away no matter how hard you try.
Yeah. Still living in the basement.
Yeah.
What are you? No, don't. None of that squaring off stuff. You settle down, Frida.
There was a really funny video I saw. This is a total aside. And I think I saw it on X. It was a, 2 cats are fighting, and this lady goes to break it up, and then her chicken decides to help out. And like, she's like they're just like the total like just locked in. The cats are locked in on each other. And so she's trying to kick them apart, and the chicken, it's a hen too, not even a rooster, kind of runs up and is trying to help out, and is like kind of like pecking at him and kind of like smacking with her feet, not really actually doing any good. And she like pours water on them, and eventually they kind of separate, and then you can see they go back at each other, and that's how the video ends. But it's pretty fun. Like, what was this chicken thinking that it's going to get involved in a cat fight? It doesn't seem like a wise thing, but I guess chickens aren't really known for their wisdom. So. Such a nutty. If I find that, I'll put that in the show notes too. All right, we've had that already.
Enough of that. I've got enough of that in my feed already. Thank you very much. From sitting there, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to bed now, and at 1 o'clock, I'm thinking, where did those 4 hours go? Stop doom scrolling, for goodness sake.
I don't doom scroll. I cat video scroll. I find that's what I do. I really like. I'm not sure why it's because I'm getting older, but I really like a lot of these cat videos. They make me laugh. Or chicken videos, animal videos. I like them. Although now I'm like, are they even real anymore? I don't even know. Are they all AI? I have no idea. Parrots.
Majority of them nowadays are AI.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you can normally tell, but what's going to be interesting is when Google actually notify you that it's been generated by AI and not real feed. But they're going to have AI doing the notifications that it's AI. So
Scary
you've got
part for
AI
me is
you've got AI snitching on itself.
Yeah, that's right.
the scary
Snitching
part for
on
me
AI.
is when you can't tell anymore.
When he's getting ready to enjoy the real catnip from the yard. He loves that stuff.
Well,
I'm
we'll
still-
soon know when Nate's using AI on his chickens when half the chickens are when the chickens are running around with Jinder's head on and Mike's head on and my head on them and Rocco's head on them. They're not
Or they're
just
dressed
chickens
in
running
armor.
around the yard. Yeah,
Yeah, dressed
He's
in
got-
armor attacking the cats.
he's got the Linux Saloon chicken corral.
So funny thing is, I do have one. We'll call it my house chicken. She doesn't come in all the time. I think some of you may have seen her before, but she does come into the house. She'll dart in and she'll demand food, or she'll sit at the back door and just start like squawking, and then I'll let her in, and then I'll feed her something, and then she'll go back out. But anyway, so the chicken and the cat don't get along. This is nothing with Linux Saloon, of course, but and the cat is actually afraid of the chicken. The chicken is kind of afraid of the cat, but like, so they were both sitting on the couch. This is years ago. They were both kind of just sitting on the couch, and the cat kind of got up in the chicken's face, and the chicken just looked at it, just pecked her right in the nose. And ever since then, it's been any semblance of friendship of it has been completely destroyed at that point. But there we go. Yeah. Arna Wine says AI cat video slop. Yes. I like real videos, if anything, but anyway. Okay. So cubulate.com/polls give you a chance to kind of, if you have any hit the wrong thing. If you want to knock that out. So this was on a what best describes your experience with Quark OS. I guess it's 2604 because it's based on Ubuntu 2604. And not a whole lot of votes, but okay, we'll give just a few moments here. So Quark OS, I'll do like a little introduction on it. So actually, I'm gonna mess things up here a little bit, which I'm good at. Great, it's my specialty is messing things up. So Quark OS is it's a user-friendly desktop-oriented Linux distribution based on Ubuntu LTS, currently 2604, or Resolute Raccoon. It's the official Ubuntu-based sister project to the popular Debian-based Q4 OS. It was created to bring the Q4 OS tools and philosophy, so especially the excellent Trinity desktop support and Windows-like theming options to users who prefer Ubuntu's hardware support, newer packages, and longer LTS cycle over Debian stable. So the main goal is to offer a stable, approachable Ubuntu experience with two very different desktop choices, along with modern KDE Plasma or the classic lightweight Trinity desktop. So, all right, that's what that is. I don't know if anyone who's tried it out at all, but so let me just hit the refresh here. And
I tried it out briefly. I couldn't determine that it was different enough from Ubuntu to pique my interest, other than the fact that it doesn't have snaps.
which might be
And the
important to
fact
some.
that it's based on Lubuntu, not Kubuntu.
Well, yeah, but it's still, all of them are based on Ubuntu, so there's not a lot of difference.
If you look, when you've got a Quark OS on your screen and you do a fast fetch, it tells you that the base operating system is Lubuntu, as in LXDE.
Well, I get that.
But they've slapped KDE on top of it.
Well, I get that, but
Yeah.
Ubuntu is based on Ubuntu. Kubuntu is based on Ubuntu.
Yeah, but
And
it just
Quark
seems.
is based on Ubuntu that is based on Ubuntu. So it's...
Yeah, but why would you? What I don't get is why would you produce an Ubuntu with KDE and not start off with KDE Ubuntu, as in Kubuntu?
because Canonical messed up years ago when they had the opportunity to do that. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In my strong, honest opinion. when they got rid of Mir and Unity, I think they should have gone with KDE
KDE.
Plasma
Yeah.
as their flagship desktop,
Yeah.
and
There's a
they
lot of people
didn't.
that say that.
So the
Yeah.
community had to create the Ubuntu with the KDE desktop and named it Kubuntu. I think Canonical messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. But the reason why I wanted to have a look at it is because I did like Q4OS back in the day. So I wondered, well, I wonder what they've done differently. And this was the first Ubuntu 2604 that installed on my machine and worked. I've tried all the other flavors. Like I said to you before, when you had the week after, because I missed it when you were doing your, 2604, did you try anything? All of the options that I tried failed to install with various weird install errors, or when I got them up, I was trying to do things and pop-up errors were coming up. But this just installed, got straight through to the desktop and worked. Yes, there's one or two quirks that you have to get used to, and the fact that it's got no snaps in there, and their installation program is very limited. But what you can't find in there, you can then go to Discover to get, or if you don't like anything in Discover, you can go to Flatpak and put it in there. But as I say, what surprised me was it actually installed and worked, and it's been working well. I've been using it all week, and I'm still using it now. It's got one or two quirks that I can't quite understand, but then I've been finding a lot of those just recently. And as an example of that, if I go to Mission Center, which is the new, where you can have a look at all your machine and what it's doing, you can look at the CPU and memory and all the rest of it. Now I'm running an RTX 4070, and yet on Mission Center, it only shows me my iGPU off of the CPU, and I'm not using it at all. So why is it not displaying the KDE, my RTX graphics card in there?
Excellent question.
What's gone wrong there? I've also just learned about something tonight, and I've forgotten it already, so I won't. It's a new monitoring system that you can install off of Flatpak. And it was called something like Ludo, but it wasn't Ludo. And again, I installed everything, I did everything it was supposed to do, and then it says there's no sensors on my graphics card. Well, if there's no temperature sensors on my graphics card, how is my motherboard running the temperatures off of the graph? So there's lots of weird things that weren't working. But overall, as an OS, I could happily use this as a daily driver. Yeah, it's fine, it works, and the best thing is for me that it installed.
Well, that's always the important first piece of it, for sure. So, according to the poll, we have tied for first place is it's good, it's okay, and other at 25% each. Then amazing and didn't have time with it came in second, and then nothing after that. So, so I guess it does seem like overall, it was actually okay, really. Looking for the couldn't find anything on the let's see that other one. I think I definitely want to have yeah, I don't know. I don't see the comment for the other, but anyway. So that is what that is. So I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. So some quick rules. So they tend to talk about the different aspects of the operating system and discuss our experience from using it. It's a discussion that should be objective and constructive, and talk about specific features that you think are missing, and then kind of help developers understand. But if, a lot of developers are very opinionated and they have things that are out for a reason, and that's why they did it. So anyway, let's highlight the positives, but not ignore the lowlights, because this is a labor of love for somebody. So let's not poo-poo on it too much. So, I think it's interesting that they offer two desktop environments, Plasma and Trinity. And so for those that don't know what Trinity is it Trinity, or TDE, is a fork of KDE 3.5 from about the 2004-2006 timeframe. It's maintained independently since KDE moved to version 4. It uses its own TQT, a fork of Qt 3, toolkit, or Qt3. The current version of Quarkos of Trinity is 14.1.6, released April of this year. It feels a lot like the classic KDE 3/Windows 2000 XP era start menu taskbar, single panel layout with modern updates and ongoing development. It's extremely lightweight and fast, which is great for older hardware. So the people who love Trinity on Quark OS is that it's extremely low resource usage. It's a familiar productive workflow for a long time Windows and old KDE users, like Dale.
Guilty.
And Rocco.
And Rocco, who he did say he actually uses it. Or he tried,
he tried it out, yeah.
Yep. And it's got excellent theming. So to include like Windows 10, 11 lookalikes by the Q4 OS tools. It's also very stable and snappy. So some interesting facts about Quarkos. It was developed by the same Czech team behind Q4OS, integrates many unique Q4OS tools like the desktop switcher, configuration center, and excellent theming engine. You can install both Plasma and Trinity side by side and switch between them easily. The Trinity edition is significantly smaller and lighter than Plasma 1, perfect for older machines. It's one of the very few modern distros that actually maintains and promotes a true classic KDE 3 experience. So I have to say, so it is. I installed it here. On actual hardware instead of a virtual machine because I want to try it out. And so I have my test machine, which actually is a framework that's running on. A little bit of a story about how this thing came to existence. But anyway, but I do actually think that the Trinity desktop is pretty decent. I downloaded both, but I only really got a chance to try out the Trinity. And it definitely feels older though. Like it just has something about it. I don't know. Who here tried one or the other or both?
I actually run Q4OS Trinity version on a really old laptop I've got because it can't handle modern day KDE Plasma. And it runs fabulous. It's extremely lightweight. It's very reminiscent of KDE 3.5. Ask me how I know. Using KDE Plasma since 1999, 2000. And yeah, I mean, grew up on KDE Plasma 3.5, sort of. So it's definitely a blast for the past for me. I like it because it's nostalgic, and I like it because it's extremely lightweight. And if KDE Plasma is going to be my first choice, and if I can't run KDE Plasma, then Trinity is probably going to be my second choice.
So looking at this, the typical idle RAM usage in tests show that Trinity is between, idle usage is between 280 and 450 megabytes of RAM usage. While Plasma in the minimal config is 650 to 950 megabytes. So it's interesting. So I guess it's the modern eye candy and background services that make Plasma a lot heavier.
Well, it's lighter than GNOME.
Right. Yeah, it still is lighter than GNOME, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's modern day computers do a lot of things they didn't used to do. So yeah, there's just a lot of that. And into the eye candy, like you said.
Okay, so with what somebody's just put into the Linux Saloon live comments, for an OS that advertises the ability to change its look and feel with this look switcher, why isn't that installed by default? Why have I only just found out about it now? Why wasn't it documented really well? Oh, actually, if you want to have a look at all this, go to the software center and install it. And yeah, you suddenly now get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more look and feels rather than the usual, Debonair and Future Dark and Gnome and all that. Oh, not Gnome, but the Breeze and the Breeze Dark. Why isn't all that installed by default if they're trying to say this is what makes us different? And this is one of the frustrations that I have, that sometimes the documentation with these individual or smaller OSs isn't as good as it should be. So now I've got this, I'll have a play with it, and I'll have to update you on next week, because I'm certainly not going to try and use it now, because I've no idea what it will do to the rest of the system. And all of a sudden it'll be, oh, hi Zeb, bye Zeb. And I'll never get back on because it's balked. So is it just me who finds difficulty in understanding these things, or is the documentation not as good as it should be?
Possibly to make the installer download a little smaller, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can really think of. It's legit.
Yeah, I mean, and I can understand that, but then at least point the person to what they need to do, because they've got a very nice welcome screen that says, run the profile, run the desktop profiler.
Yeah.
But then you run the desktop profiler and it doesn't give you the options to add the theme switcher.
I do like their welcome screen for sure.
Yeah, it's quite funky. It works well. And you've got, as I say, you've got this very nice. Well, you can install your applications. You can install proprietary codecs, which if you're not worried about the, or if you know that you're okay with the laws in your country, you can do that. Not sure what the screen scaling was. I never bother with that because I'm just happy that my monitors work the way I want them to work. And the only thing that I found really odd, Dale, and I don't know whether you found out as well, they produce a very nice hardware info which shows you the system and the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got dark blue lettering on a black background.
Yeah, I know that.
Can't read.
I did notice that, yeah.
Again, do the people who are testing this not think of the visualizations that they're presenting? Because whilst that could be quite a handy little utility, unless you're going to go on to every single item and highlight it, you can't highlight the whole lot. You can't change it from dark to light. It doesn't match any other theme, because if I change the overall theme of the OS to light, that's still in that mode.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like little bits of attention to detail, but I'm not going to let that deny my fact that this is the first 2604 that worked, and even with full KDE, I think it's pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Everything seems to run really, really, excuse the pun, snappily, even though it hasn't got snaps. Now, again, one thing that I thought I read was that everything snap related has been stripped out. Yeah. Well, not according to their SourceForge forum, because the latest post by Q4OS on the SourceForge forum for Quarkos is that you can install snaps if you want to. So they can't have taken everything out if you can just go along and install it all back in, unless I think what they're talking about is like the Chromium snaps are missing and every other snap that Ubuntu puts on is missing.
I think they stripped out the forced use of snaps. So when you do an apt install of, say, Chromium in Ubuntu, it's going to install the snap version. If you
do this one, it will install the
but you still have the option to use snaps if you want to.
If you wanted to, right? Yeah. which then kind of defeats the object of using this. You might as well use ordinary Ubuntu.
Well, my opinion
than
on
this runs
my
quicker,
opinion on
yeah.
all the alternative packagings is use what works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think the issue is like you can have snaps default or just in the background, and I think that just by not, I think they're just not set up as I don't know. I didn't install any snaps. I just installed Flatpak, but Flatpak is enabled by default, at least in the Trinity version.
Yeah.
So that's one differentiating feature, and also they don't have any of the GTK libraries installed by default either. So it's lighter weight in that regard as well. Doesn't have that. But if you want to install GTK based applications, probably the way to do it would be through a Flatpak instead, and then it kind of keeps all that stuff separate out of your home, your host system. So it reduces. I guess it makes it a smaller footprint.
Yeah, and it was actually I made a mistake earlier when I said that it lists Ubuntu in fast check. It doesn't. Where I found Ubuntu was when I was looking at mapping some other hard disks that I've got, where I've got information that I like to use in Linux. And it's there that it shows me that I've got a basic data partition, which is Windows. Then I've got root, which is part of my Cache OS system. And then I've got a couple of 2 terabyte basic storage SSDs. Then I've got another one that says MX25, and then another one that says Ubuntu _2604. Well, I haven't got Ubuntu installed on here. Since I have had it installed, I've completely trashed every single hard disk on the machine and rebuilt them. So that could have only come from Quarkos. So what's it doing with a Ubuntu base and then slapping KDE on top of it?
I know. So I was looking at because I thought I'd check it out on the Trinity version, and it just says Ubuntu 2604 outright. It doesn't say Lubuntu or Kubuntu. It just says Ubuntu.
Yeah, so I need somebody else who's installed it as full Kubuntu. Is it just a weird oddity of my machine?
I don't know.
It's definitely the right one.
It could be one of those areas where they pulled some parts and pieces from the different projects.
Yeah.
And that
and
might
the info part.
Right. They probably pulled
the info part that feeds certain information turned out to be Ubuntu. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was, because I would imagine the development of both the Trinity and Plasma versions would be side by side, except for some slight variations. And this just says they didn't even change the OS release information on that one. So, because if I do cat etc OS release, it says Ubuntu 2604. It doesn't say anything about
So what was that? Cat?
Cat. Oh, okay. I'll put it in the chat. So
yes, please. Yes, I'll just copy and paste it, and I'll let you know what the full version says.
So I'll put that I'll put it in multiple chats here.
Yeah, I've got it from the main one. Yeah.
If you do that, that'll actually tell you what it is.
Wow, YouTube, thank you very much for giving me absolute garbage, to paste. So let's try it again. Control C, Shift I. No, get rid of the chat. Where's it picking up chat from? I do not know.
So I get
it says the pretty name is Ubuntu 2604 LTS. The name is Ubuntu. Nowhere in here does it mention Ubuntu. And yet that's what sits when I'm looking at my devices that are connected. Very odd.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of I don't want to make this sound harsh or anything, but it does feel a little bit, little jalopy-ish, like they just kind of pulled parts from different things and kind of bolted it together. That's bad. I'm not saying it's just you know, not to someone who's just using it, they're not going to care. You know, there's no like, they're not going to feel it. You know what I mean? But I think to someone who would dig into it like you or me will be like, oh, this is kind of weird. But most people aren't even going to see it or care, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't digging into it because I had no idea about that cat thing. It's only because when I was, because I use GNOME Disk Utility. No matter what the OS is, I have to get GNOME Disk Utility on there. Otherwise, I don't know how to, because I've lost the ability to just edit FS tab like I used to in the old days.
Let me just pack my stuff up.
So Quark Utility seems, GNOME Utility is, for me, the easiest way to tick all the little boxes and then link my other devices. And that's the only reason I notice Ubuntu 2604. But yeah, they have literally just thrown it together as an experiment, and maybe it will slowly tidy itself up as it goes through iterations. If it continues to be updated. That's the other question that was asked on the SourceForge. Will it continue to be updated, or will it just update because it's an Ubuntu base anyway? Oh, Run with the Dolphins in chat.
So Dolphin says, things like fastfetch use their own detection schemes. So hard to say. Stick with OS release, LSB release, or specific version files, like our own etc/mx-version. And DistroTube, I've heard that before. DistroTube. I'm just kidding. Of course. Says, it gets confusing when distros report what they're based on. If a distro builds itself using absolutely any Ubuntu built program or library like the Calamares installer for Ubuntu. It says then distro will report themselves as Ubuntu based.
Yeah,
so
it's strange. And just to clarify that, it didn't show it in fast fetch. It just showed it in, as I say, when I was looking at the disk drives on my machine. So that's good to know. So I can just ignore all that nonsense next time round and just work with the machine. And does it work well? And can I use it?
I do find, I didn't know about LSB release. That's a good one. Okay, maybe that's up there. I wonder what is that also under ETC? I wonder. I don't know. Well, pretty cool. So as far as so as far as like when digging into it, when you're playing with it, installing applications, what did you think about the tools that were baked into Quarkos? So they have like their own little thing going on for applications. You install applications tool, I guess.
Yeah, I played around with it some. It was different. Let me just say that. I'm not saying it was good or bad. Different. I was a little confused about how they did updates. I had a bit of a issue with that, but overall, I think it looked pretty good. I mean, you know, for what it was, it sure did. I saw a lot of Windows-looking dialog boxes in it. That's for sure. So, which was interesting.
Yeah. And Ben, I don't know if you're trying to talk to us, but you're talking to somebody. Oh, now he's muted. So I did like to have like that a curated list of applications. I thought that was nice to see that they had that. Very easy to install. That.
Yeah.
I also like that they had Rust Desk installed. I know I'm a fan of Rust Desk for remote desktop purposes. A bunch of applications I had never used, but nonetheless, I thought it was pretty great. They had a lot of, very quick to just install and go with. Notepad QQ, I never saw that one before, but it's a Notepad++ like editor for Linux. I thought that was pretty cool. They did have a firewall installed by default. I thought that was also great. The GUFW. I don't know if anyone play with their firewall rules. I did not play with my firewall rules at all. I didn't have a need to. And then we had like a really quite a lot of, they had K3B in there as well. So for those of you that are still using optical media, not a problem. So I appreciated that. Yeah, a lot of the, a lot of pretty much basics. They didn't have like a flat pack store in there, but I mean, it could be very, very easy just to, you could do a flat pack install Bazaar. So that would work just as well.
Yeah, but I think Discover comes with Flatpak in it.
Oh, it's true. It does. So I'm talking from a Trinity perspective. I apologize. So from using the Trinity.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. And certainly that software center, that install applications, is 100% a Trinity app, which I thought was a bit weird, sticking it on top of a brand new KDE. It looks totally out of place, but I knew where it came from. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of a funny Quarkism on this, because you have it's definitely almost like the clashing of two different two different eras when it comes to all that.
Yeah, it's definitely a Frankenstein OS, but without the polish that the last Frankenstein OS had. So they'll get there if they want to continue to use it. Otherwise, just use it for all of its quirkiness. And for me, it worked quite well. So I was pleased to have found it.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of work put into this. I mean, it's not just a weekend creation, for sure.
No, for sure. I would totally agree to that. It would be interesting to see, like their software center, if that's a Quarkos or Q4OS specific application, or if that's more of a Trinity thing.
Well, it says Q4OS applications, doesn't it? Let me pull it up. Huh?
No, it just says software center.
Which version are you running?
Trinity.
Oh, okay. I think I installed the KDE version.
Oh, and Vince, he does say Quark is my favorite Ferengi. Yes, absolutely. And he would definitely use this OS because it's frugal.
You did a big picture of Quark in the background, you know.
And DistroTube says K3B was certainly a blast from the past. I doubt most computer users today have ever written to a disk. Now, I do have to push back on a little bit on that one. So my oldest, he just turned 15. He, about a year-ish ago, he took my, what do you call it, drum of CDs. There's like a spindle of CDs. And he's been making his own mix CDs of music, and to play them in the car, because we have a DVD player thing, whatever, in the car to play CDs. So he actually very much enjoys it, and he says his favorite part about it is there are no ads or buffering. So, I mean, I think I raised him well.
Yeah, you did, because that's impressive that a kid that age nowadays actually wants to put the work in to achieve something for himself.
Right.
Yeah, and
Nate, I'm sorry. I just looked. There's a Q4OS software center installed on the KDE version.
Okay, so it is a Q4OS software center. Okay. Texaco says, I would have used the Trinity version longer had I been able to get the scaling right on the full system. So I'm curious to know what you mean scaling right, what you mean by that, because I thought it was rather clever that when I set the scaling, that in the advanced you can actually bring up a ruler. It'll give you like in centimeters. You can actually bring up a ruler up to it, and you can adjust it out. So 2.09 was the scaling I used on this machine here, and that seems to be true to life, I guess. So I know. I'm curious to know what the actual trouble was. Do you have like different scaling for different displays, different scaling required? That's what I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, and that's really weird because that's normally one of the things that completely mucks me up from using, certain distros because they can't. As you all know, I've got my 49-inch widescreen split into two 27s, and then I've got a 27-inch 4K sitting to the right of it. But I just put the 4K down to 2560, and they all line up nicely. All the applications just go from screen to screen and don't do silly things with, it halfway on one screen and dipping down to the other. They all line up really, really nicely, and that was another thing that I liked about it because I normally have to fight with that through all sorts of hoops to get that to work. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what Rocco meant on that.
He says that the scaling worked for the view inside the windows, but not the borders. The borders would not scale. I wonder if could you change the scale, like the size of the borders? I thought that was like an old KDE thing that you could do.
Oh, and of course he's thinking Trinity. Yeah. I haven't used Trinity yet.
So the borders are a little bit small, I would say. I wonder if there's a desktop. I'm curious now. I don't see title bar actions. I wonder if there's a way to change the size of them. So
there must be, because I remember back in the day. Yeah, I remember back in the day you used to have to go through and edit the theme. Is it the CRSS theme or something, where you can adjust the border size to? Because I remember there was a young lad who absolutely obsessed over theming not being right. And my brain's gone. I can't remember his name again. Very young lad, and he's still got his own OS going. Ferran OS. Ferran was obsessed with themes and border thickness, and a bit like Rocco would notice, something being 1 pixel out. So I can understand why Rocco's upset at that, but he should have the experience to just dive in there and change it over. Come on, Rocco, get with it, son.
Challenges has been thrown.
He says he did have fun with Conqueror, though.
I still use
Conqueror used to be pretty good. Oh,
what
it is.
Used to be.
You still use it? Okay.
Well, yeah, I still use it.
I'm a Nemo/Files guy.
Oh, I use Dolphin mostly, but there are a couple of really good tools that still exist only in Conqueror that I use. So there is, there's what is it called in Plasma? This like file view thing. It kind of gives you like a circle and it shows you like a breakdown of everything. Circles are fine, but I'm more of a square. So there's a file size view in Conqueror if you install the plugins, and it is the coolest way to look at your files. And in fact, I will demonstrate it for you. Let's see, view mode. Hopefully I don't give away anything. But if you look at the screen I'm showing here, you can see that it actually breaks down. That actually breaks down my files. I don't think there's any PII in there. So, but actually it'll go through and calculate it all out. To me, it's a great way to look at your files from like how much is it taking up. So you can see, got my Windows 10, QCOW 10, there's a Leap 16, QCOW 2, not QCOW 10, geez, going on here.
This reminds me of like a Windows tool that I used to see promoted a lot in enthusiast PC circles. I'm not sure the name of it, but I think Zeb was alluding to it.
I think there's one called...
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that to describe your file system, and I could never find anything on there and work out.
Well, you can.
Like a CPU. Looks like
It's
a
just-
CPU silicon map.
Yeah, it kind of does,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Well, the idea here is you can see like what folders is taking up, like my pictures is taking up 310 gigabytes. The
Where did you see
local.
that? I'm just lost in a sea of obnoxious colours and ever-changing diagrams as it finds more space and changes the size of something to match.
You can see I have
what it's
110 gigabytes of ISOs that I definitely don't need all of these. Like, why do I still have FidoS on here? I don't know.
I gotta agree, it's too confusing and convoluted.
What? I mean, it's fine. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But to me, this is great because
Right.
I don't use this like
Hey.
for managing the files, but like if I would like, where's all my data going right now? What can I trim out? You know, I have too much here, or I've, you know, Windboat here has got 32 gigabytes. How much music I have, you know, OBS stuff, videos. I got a bunch of Father Dowling. Remember that show, Father Dowling? I'm a little embarrassed that I have this. That you're seeing that right now. Anyway, so that said, very useful. It's helped me to identify things in my file system.
I'm sorry.
So
I had to laugh.
DistroTube says, wow, it looks like a stock market sector heat map, but using the Linux file system. I would have never thought of viewing things like that. Nice. Yeah, I've actually been using that since like 2007, 2008, that same Conqueror function. And because I'm a data hoarder. That's the problem. I'm a data hoarder.
And
So-
how long have you had migraines?
All my life.
I'm sorry, I had to.
It's all good. You're not going to offend me. So I guess, so did anybody have any issues doing so you said issues doing updates? Someone did? Couldn't find a way to do it graphically?
Yeah, I mean, I found it eventually. It just wasn't very intuitive when I went to search in the menu for it.
I just did
apt
update, upgrade, but I know that's probably not the right way. Like,
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that when I installed it, there was an option to did you want to use their updater? So I clicked yes, and then what happens is when there's updates available, it puts a little icon in your system tray that says updates available, and you click it, and then it just goes straight to Discover and does the updates. But there's nothing to stop you running the updates manually as you would do on any Ubuntu system with, the apt command. But yeah, I'm sure there was an option that I just ticked and it said, okay, we'll let you know when there's updates.
Were there any, I guess, besides what has already been discussed, were there any other challenges, perhaps, that you had?
No, everything I wanted to work worked.
I mean,
I've got a very simplistic view of things. I just need it to run my computer stuff, and that's it. I've got no external servers, no fancy cameras, nothing hideous like that. I just use it as my daily computer, and everything was fine.
Apparently, we offended DT already. He's taking off.
He's off down the pub. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. It was probably me. I have that effect on people.
No.
So, as far as like the low lights or anything that you might think they could really use some areas of massaging or whatever, what would you say would be something that they could concentrate on?
For me, it would be the theming. I get that it's come from Q4 OS, but if you're going to give somebody the full KDE application, then sort your theming out. Don't suddenly give, in the middle of a KDE desktop, a Trinity software installer.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Zev on that. It's kind of eclectic. It's kind of an eclectic desktop on the KDE version. It's like you're doing things in KDE, and then all of a sudden this Microsoft Windows looking dialog pops up. You know?
Windows 2000.
Yeah. I would
I can
say
see
that
that.
would be kind of the only polish,
On the Trinity side, I would say there's no good dark theme. That's kind of a unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that was a problem. That was a problem with KDE3 though. There was not a really good dark theme back in the KDE3
Well,
KDE3 days.
Back then, there wasn't such a thing as a dark theme. You just made dark colors, and
Yeah.
that's all you had.
Well, I would make my own custom dark theme on KDE3 because I didn't like the light color. I would say the other thing that kind of maybe was a little bit irritating for me was the terminal theme. The default terminal theme was black text on white background. That's like really hard for me to look at. Like that's actually painful for me to look at. So I don't like that. I prefer a dark theme for that for sure. Green text on black, amber. I'm good with that. Like to me, that's top tier. So.
Yeah, I remember running back 3.5 back in the day, and I always had to change the color on the terminal to be a black screen with green text, just because that's what I liked.
Yeah, not spending a lot of time in a terminal. It's neither near here nor there for me. But hang on a minute, I'm looking at this now, and I've got green main text and blue. I need to go where there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, no, all I'm getting is, initially white text, but all the directories that it's listing are in blue text.
The
ls space minus -al, and yeah, it's a whole wall of white text. Yeah, so
I would say also on the Trinity side, it would be nice if they had a Flatpak graphical interface installed by default as well. I think that'd just be. I mean, you can search. It's just as well to use in terminal, really, honestly. But I'm just saying that'd be kind of nice. It'd be nice to have maybe install like Bazaar by default or something like that, because Bazaar is a really nice one. And then outside of that, I think it was all pretty A-okay.
the thing I did like about Flatpaks was that you could install one, and most of the times I installed it from FlatHub on a web browser. And as you copy and paste the text into the terminal when it installs it, you can then go straight to the menu and it's there. Whereas some operating systems, you have to log out to log back in for it to fully, or seemingly to me, to fully integrate into the system without having to, do the second part of the FlatHub, which is now run this command to open it. But then it's open with a window. But this just seemed to, installed it, it's there on the menu system. I found that to be quite good.
Why I love Warehouse.
Yeah,
So
Warehouse.
what's Warehouse?
Warehouse is an interface to that. It's actually a Flatpak to interface FlatHub, and you install your programs and stuff from FlatHub without going to a web browser.
Oh, right.
And
okay.
it also,
So it's like that.
Also, you can make
So-
snapshots. You can remove all the cruft. Like if you want to uninstall a Flatpak, you can tell it to trash, get rid of everything else too.
Okay, interesting.
I've been using it for a couple of years now. I love it.
Some of those features are built into the MX Linux install program, all
Yep.
as a GUI.
Yep.
Yeah, I
like
just found
Linux.
I just found a lot of little niggles that were really not major issues. Like when I ran it in VirtualBox, it detected it as 32-bit, which I thought was a little different. But easily correctable, and as long as you didn't select use the auto configure. There was no encryption toggle at the default install. It may have been part of the custom install, but there was no encryption selection. And then there's the one that's common with all KDE installs. The user ID has to be hostname / user ID, otherwise it won't work. The Bluetooth worked fine. The Firefox was fairly recent, so that's another one I see a lot of distro reviewers complain about, the ancient Firefox. But other than that, it seemed to work okay. I would recommend it to a coworker needing something low demand.
I just like when a lot of times, unless if I'm just randomly discovering things, like just like browsing, I a lot of times will just install Flatpak from the terminal. But Warehouse versus Bazaar, what would you say are the benefits of Warehouse?
Simplicity.
Okay.
But I have never really tried Bazaar. Is Bazaar is that a Fedora only thing, or is that? I can't remember whether you can actually use it in Arch or not. I researched it once, but I forget what I found out.
It's just a Flatpak. It's a Flatpak you install that has a store front, basically.
You
okay.
broke up badly there, Nate, for me. Say that again.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Flatpak store for you install via Flatpak.
Oh, okay, just like Warehouse. Okay.
Yeah.
I might compare it here later on or right now.
Yeah, that'd be groovy.
And how are you spelling Bazaar? Sorry.
It's Bazaar.
Which is bizarre in its own right, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, SEO is not cooperating. When trying to search for it online, you get Amazon Bazaar and then some other weird Bazaar apps.
So if you do Flatpak install Bazaar, or if you do Bazaar FlatHub, that'd be another way to do it as well. And JJ, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well.
Or you can just go to Discover and install it from there.
It's true.
Doing okay. Yeah, it's the end of the school year, working over the summer, so hopefully everything's going to be all good.
Working on being a doctor?
No, so I work for a school district now.
Oh, okay. Well, fantastic.
Yeah, so right now preparing for all the summer hirings and onboardings of teachers and such, getting their laptops ready, all that stuff.
Nice.
Oh boy.
So Ann Rita says, Bazaar is good, but Warehouse can do snapshots of your Flatpaks. Amazing. And Prophetic says, Bazaar is Bluefin's FlatHub alternative to Software Center. Okay. And then Ann Rita says, Bazaar is more like a software store for Flatpaks.
Thank you, my queen.
And also, Anna, just a quick tease, we got a segment just for you that Mike Chilson has been working on for helping you in the terminal. So I know how much you've been interested in such things. So you've been in our constant thoughts.
Anna, just know that's him pushing your buttons, not me. Okay.
And just to let you know how frustrating this is for me, that Bazaar and Warehouse were part of a 5-pack of FlatHub applications that I talked about a couple of weeks ago on Destination Linux, and I had forgotten all about them until Anita said, those are my 2 favorite apps. And as soon as I read 2 favorite apps, I realized I'd read 5 favorite apps from Flatpak, unknown and not often used. And these are 2 of the ones that it mentioned. I'm going to have to go and look back for the other 3 now as well.
I think my answer holds weight. I like the fact that Warehouse is compact. because I just installed Bazaar and you can see it on my screen. It's
Yeah, but the thing I like about Warehouse is it's a proper software stall, whereas Warehouse is just a nice front end to save you doing everything in a terminal.
you said warehouse and warehouse. So which one is which?
Sorry, no, Bazaar is like a software house,
Right.
and Warehouse is just like a front end to save you doing it in a terminal. Because
Right.
when you actually go to search for something, there's no click this icon. You have to know what you're looking for. Whereas with
Right.
Bazaar, it's a software center, and you can actually scroll through. Okay, well, what is popular?
Right.
So yeah,
I
but
agree with that.
I do like the other things that they have on the Warehouse, though, as you said, where you can do snapshots and clean up all the junk and the mess and all that sort of stuff that some flat packs can leave behind.
So Prophetic says running Fedora 44 with LXQt with KWin as a window manager, just 1 gig of RAM used. I kind of wonder, and maybe Dale, this is something you've dug into, but what would be the comparing Trinity to LXQt as far as memory footprint and features and whatnot? That'd be interesting side by side, I think, to say like which one.
I'll be honest with you. I think LXQt is actually lighter.
Really? And that's using the more modern toolkit.
And it's more modern. It's using the thing that KDE Plasma is built on.
The Qt 6.
I don't. Yeah, Qt. Yeah, Qt. It's using modern Qt, just like KDE Plasma, and it is extremely lightweight. It's not fancy. It kind of, to me, it kind of feels like Windows 95-ish. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, but it is just really, really fast and modern.
I think you're right. So just a quick search here. It looks like LXQt might be slightly lighter and has Wayland support.
And has Wayland support, yes. And already, not even experimental. It's out as far as I know.
And apparently performance depends on the age of the hardware too. So actually LXQt will perform better on newer hardware, but Trinity will perform better on older hardware. I don't have
Interesting.
I've got nothing to back that up other than a forum comment. So yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if that older hardware, if LXQT was tested in Wayland versus Trinity tested not in Wayland on the same machine.
Could be.
I might run that test. I might run a test this week.
That'd be a fun
Got me
conversation.
curious now. Yeah, got me curious now. I know LXQT is, both of them, honestly, both of them just feel snappy as it can be.
Yeah, I think so. I think it might be
My
fun
brain
to...
just.
What's that?
You're going to go on. You can say it might be fun to. Go on, carry on. I'll jump in after.
Oh, it might be fun.
I
Might be fun to
disrupted
like
you now.
talk about it, as a follow up. Since next week is an open mic night, so.
Nah.
Cool. Yeah. So, and what I was going to say is my brain suddenly kicked in, and that program that I couldn't remember that does Linux GPU configuration and monitoring tool is called LACT, LACT.
Yeah, I use that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
it's
and that's
you
the
can get
one
it.
that
You get it flat pack.
yeah, and that's the one that knows I've got an RTX graphics card and lists it, but I can't do anything with it because it doesn't think I've got any sensors. Now, I don't know if I've got to install LM sensors for it to work. It doesn't
Yeah, you have to.
It doesn't mention that anywhere in the documentation that you have to have LM sensors, unless I haven't read it fully. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to have LM sensors.
Is that
yeah.
not?
So again, developers. Well, I can soon find out if we've got it. Let me. And I did swap themes, by the way. So I'm on a really dodgy theme at the moment. So I've lost all my shortcut. So LM dash sensors.
I forget.
No, command's not found, so it's not installed by default.
And I think are you using System D?
Pass. It's whatever comes with Ubuntu 2604. So I'm assuming it's going to be System D, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be in the System D startup too, LAC does.
Which means what, you just can't install it and it works?
No, I mean, you used to, in the beginning with LAC, you had to do some things to get it to start with System D, but I think it's a default config now, or it's a setting. I can't remember. Let me look at it.
How come I've never heard of this before? Lacked.
I don't know. I only found out about it tonight because Jill mentioned it on the other show that I recorded before this.
Lack lets you configure and monitor AMD, NVIDIA, or Intel GPU on Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, so you take in... oh, wow, they've changed it a little bit. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, okay. So you can do automatic, which is what I have it on, I believe. Or you can do a curve. Or you can do static, where you can just speed them up all the way. I think mine's default to automatic right now because I don't really tax my system enough to have to use this right yet. So let's see.
Well, that's fascinating.
You can also overclock with it.
Really give her the onions, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just installed LM sensors and it still says no sensors found, so I don't know what else was missing.
You might have to reboot. I think when me and Arch Penguin were messing with it, we had to reboot to get that to start. Yeah, see, here's the daemon, reset all configuration. So I don't know if I really want to click that or not. Let's go ahead, whatever. Are you sure you want to reset all GPU configurations? Okay, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I can't remember for sure. Arch Penguin, as usual, my friend Arch Penguin knows a lot about LACT. He's been using it for longer than I have. So he would probably be able to tell you. He can be found in Fluxer. The only time he comes to Discord is when he joins the Saloon chat.
Well, I'm gonna have to check out Lacked. Might be a fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might be fun. After the stream, because I don't want to do anything to potentially screw anything up.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that my messing around hasn't suddenly gone bye, Zeb, and I have to come back in. But it's one of the things that still frustrates me about Linux is all these wonderful programs that you can get on, but the documentation leaves wanting because, you know, I haven't got a clue what I've got to do to set. I would expect to be able to go to the software store, install a program, and it works. And if it doesn't work, it tells you why it's not going to work, and not just then have you spend 2 hours in a forum with geeks who are talking a language you don't know to tell you how to get it to run. That for me is still the single frustrating thing with Linux. It works well, but if you want to do anything out of the ordinary, yeah, you've got to spend hours in the forums trying to work it all out, and I just don't have time for that anymore, which is why I appreciate. There we go. I don't know about you guys, but I've just completely frozen, and all I was doing was resizing my console window.
Well, you're still moving to me.
Well, my whole system has frozen up, so I'll just sit here and wait for it to unfreeze. And yet all I was doing was resizing a console window.
Who knows?
Very strange.
Anita brought up Proton Up QT. I've been using, well, I didn't have it installed just now, but Proton Plus is actually better, in my opinion. You might want to check it out.
She also brought up Optimus UI, switch between integrated GPU and dedicated GPU. Right.
Man, she's just giving us all kinds of info.
Yeah, she just
I'm gonna have
throw it out.
I'm gonna get a migraine.
All right, so just some to kind of put a bow on the Quark OS. Is it something you're gonna continue to play with, or what has this exploration done as far as like for you, I suppose? Like for me, now, like after the discussion I had about like Trinity versus LXQ, now I want to take one system and run both on there and just see how they perform. So that's something I want to experiment with. Thanks to Dale. I'm going to blame Dale anyway.
TMI.
I don't know if anybody else had any other. Go ahead, Dale. I'm sorry.
I don't mind getting blamed. I get blamed all week for whatever.
That's good. You should.
Well, I'm going to continue to use it because it's the only 2604 that's working for me right now. So until 2604-1 comes out, I'll keep this as my Ubuntu base.
You know what, Zeb? I was just thinking back when you had all those problems when we were looking at that distro. That's right when they were having all those attacks occur.
Oh,
on
yeah.
all the resources.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah. It might have been it trying to talk back to something across the internet and flubbed out, you know.
But then the only downside to that is I recently installed Ubuntu Native because I read somewhere about this all singing, all dancing, wonderful new KDE theme that somebody from Framework had built because he didn't like the normal KDE theming, and this article said that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and once you've used it you'll never go back. And I was going to mention it somewhere, but then there's no point in giving negatives all the time because there aren't enough superlatives for me to say how bad it was. So I'll get the name of it once my system's woken up because I'm still completely frozen and I might have to hit the reset button. So it's not just that they were under attack. The 2604s still don't work for me, so I'll keep this one on because it does work. Just to see if I am still moving. Jazz hands, but I can't see it.
You are. We're getting you fine.
I better be careful then because I'll think I'm not doing anything and I'll just like, yeah, no, stop it.
You're muted, Nate.
So we won't know. We won't let you know if you are. This way, it'll be a surprise to you later.
No, I'm going to hit the reset because I can't stand this. Be back in a minute, boys.
It happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it around. Might be fun to test for sure. Anybody else gonna keep it around, or I'm
gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it around as a virtual. I mean, I didn't really see any major problems with it. I mean, you know, anything that I thought was not a good thing was kind of nitpicking. So I just, I think there's a lot of good work put into that, and I think it would be great for someone who needs a lightweight distro, or someone who's coming over from Windows too, because it's very Windowish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did seem like a lot of Windows things in it.
Yeah.
See, I didn't try the Plasma one. Maybe I should have.
I have
Just assume.
recommended Key4 OS before with Trinity Desktop for people who have older computers, slower hardware.
Yeah. I got a netbook. I wonder how they would run on that netbook.
I bet it run pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, links to everything will be in the show notes. So if you want to try it, at home, in your lab, it's well worth a shot for sure. All right, we're going to move on to housekeeping here, so we can keep things moving along. We got next week is an open mic night, so we're going to follow up on Dale's experience between LXQt versus Trinity on some sort of benchmarking. I don't know what.
Yep. I don't know either, but I'll have something.
And then if you have any suggestions, whether it's discussion, distribution, or application appetizer, poll ideas, whatever you got, send to suggestions at linuxsaloon.com, or you can tag myself or Eris in the Telegram or Discord, and that'd be groovy. Also, the calendar has been updated through June now on the Linux Saloon page. So if you want to, there's going to be a 1 week that I'm not going to have I'm going to be on vacation doing, vacation-y things. So the 20th of June, no Linux Saloon, but we're going to have, on the 13th, we'll have an early edition and application appetizer. So a double feature there. So we're still going to have four Linux Saloons going on in June. So not a complete loss. All right. So we don't have, I guess we have time for maybe one news article. We'll go ahead and just take the time real quick on this. So the, I don't know who here uses bottles, but Bottle 64.0 adds ntsync support for running Windows apps on Linux. And the adding is its new eagle-based security scanning and many fixes for running Windows applications and games on Linux. Who here uses bottles? Anybody here use bottles? I've never used
a crossover guy.
I'm still waiting for Adam to do his demo on bottles, but he says he's done it and I can't find it.
I have tried using bottles and it just, I guess I don't understand it. I don't get it. I can't get it to work.
Same here.
Looks like we need to get Rita on because she said, I do. Now, I don't know if she's accepting your marriage proposal there, Nate, but.
Well, we're both of the same generation, so it'd probably work out all right. Maybe. Probably not, actually.
Just don't open a terminal, right?
Right, yeah, and then it should be gone. So Bottles is a graphical tool for managing wine environments and lets users create isolated bottles for Windows software with separate runners, dependencies, settings, and launch options as released on version 64.0. I like that version 64. I like the number 64. It's a fun number. Main edition is ntsync support. A wine-related synchronization mechanism that improves how Windows applications handle certain threading and synchronization workloads on Linux. On the security side, Bottle 64 adds eagle settings for threat scanning and crash detection, reduces malware and stealer pattern detection for executables, and warns users before running flagged programs. The app can also offer eagle scan after a crash and show security findings in the analysis view. Now that's pretty cool. I have to say. Moreover, the new home card and dialog lets users update components across bottles at once, reducing the need to manage update bottle by bottle. It also adds a toggle to enable or disable launch arguments from an individual program, which I think that seems like that's kind of a wine thing as well. For game and performance setups, Bottles now inherits Mango HUD config from the host environment by default. Plus, the release prevents the desktop session from going idle while the Windows app or game is running. The developers also addressed slow startups and UI freezes with many programs or library entries. On many programs, library entries. And I can't speak. The developer also addressed slow startups and UI freezes when many programs or library entities are present. Regarding desktop integration, Bottles fixes broken desktop links when app names contain spaces, corrects Katie Whalen desktop entry creation, well, that's good, sanitizes bottle names and generated file names, and escapes program names so symbols like ampersands render correctly. It also lowercases executable names for startup WM class. There's a bunch of other things, sandbox related, and so forth. So this is another one of those applications I think that are worth giving another shot to, because I haven't tried it in a while. And although Heroic runs, there's a game that I really like playing. I really liked playing when I was a teenager, Starfleet Academy. Not sure if anyone here has ever played that or even heard of it. It's one of my favorites. Like a lot of full motion video stuff in there. I bought it. I have the original CDs in the back, but I bought it again on GOG because it kind of fixed all the stuff and I didn't have to faff with it. I think that's a British thing, right? Faff, is that a British thing? I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I like it, but there's just some little nitnoid things that are wrong with it. And anyway, so I think it might be worth trying again. I think. So I was kind of hoping somebody here used Bottles besides Anna Rita, who's not on here. So War Thunder says, I use Bottles now and again. I wonder for what. I know Steve's very own uses Bottles for StreamerBot. And then, Anna Rita says she uses Bottles to install Kobo Desktop. Yeah, because she uses that reader. And War Thunder says, I generally like crossover myself. And then Anna Rita says, yes, Generation X, and yes, no terminal or divorce time. See? This is Anna Rita says, I create Bottles, one for games, the other for programs. So I wonder how it compares to crossover, I guess. And it's high five. High five on the crossover, yep. And then, so interesting. Worthen says, I have Starfleet Academy, Nate, in the big box. Well, the box is gone, but I have all 6 CDs. So there is one other person out there. That's glorious. It's such a fun game.
I still have the Borg CD game of Star.
Yeah,
Star,
I got that too.
Yeah, Star Trek.
I got the Klingon one.
I used to hack into it and just watch the videos. I'd find the video files and just...
You guys play those, yeah?
Yep. Matter of fact, makes me want to look for it.
It's cool. Anyway, so I thought it was a fun article there on Bottles. So anyway, we're rapidly out of time. I want to turn this over to Mike. This is it's our what are we going to call this? We didn't have a name for this. We should have talked about this.
How about the beginning Linux command series?
Okay, got it.
or Mike's terminal mechanisms.
Oh, there you go. Mike's terminal moment.
Terminal tutor. Terminal tutorial.
That's right. We had some folks in Discord asking about some tutorials or information about using basic terminal commands. I guess they're fairly new to Linux. So everybody else here who's kind of a gearhead in Linux, you can go get something to drink or take a bio break or whatever you need to do right now. But so I thought what I would do is start writing a series of articles and cover each kind of the basic commands. I'm going to post the link in the chat of both chats so you can get to the tutorial. And let me bring up my window here. Let's see, I need a window, that one. Okay. And we're going to talk about real quick about the ls command or list command. Okay.
Or as your screen says, the Linux is command.
ls command, yes. the Linux is command. Obviously, if this is similar to the dir command in DOS and Windows, there are some things about it that are a little bit different. And one of the things that I want to do with this series is I want to really show people how to exploit the commands and chain them together to be more productive, okay, by using things like the pipe command or redirects. And we'll get into that later, but I'm not going to go through the heavy duty stuff. Obviously, ls will give you a basic listing. There's a lot of parameters that are covered in the tutorial article that you can try yourself. A couple of things I kind of wanted to point on here is the -L is probably the biggest one that you will use, as it will show all the data about the file, the permissions, the dates and times of creation, who the owner is, the file name, etc. And that's a pretty common one that a lot of people want. The default one of ls is just very basic, right? And we're going to show how you can modify that too, your basic ls command. We'll get into that in a minute. But I wanted to show just some basic things here. Obviously, to list a directory, you would just, there's a test directory here. And you can also, reference things by path. So you could say ls, going to the full route, home, mic, what is this directory called? My stuff. Oh, sorry. What did I do?
We're doing the Windows backslashes instead of the /.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been working in Windows this week, so my mind is backwards. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Yeah, there we go. And so, those are kind of the basics. And of course, you can do wildcards when you're doing these searches. Like if we want to look at just the CSV files, we can use the asterisk wildcard. This is very basic stuff. One thing that Linux does that's kind of cool is you can do this. Let me type this out for you, where you can say file underscore, and then you can use the brackets and say 1 through 3 bracket dot txt, and it will only list the ones that have a 3 in that location in the file. So you can.
So in that bracket, not to be, derail your class here, but
yeah,
what kind of intelligence does that have? So if you put 1 through 3, I get it. So if you did 1
it's
through
just
4,
a counter. It's just a counter.
Okay.
So you can say, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check this. I think you can do it this way too. Let me double check. I could be wrong about this. Yeah, that works too. So if you want to do like odd numbers or even numbers or something like that, you can list them individually, separated by commas. So it just allows you to set a range for a wildcard, okay? And which that's kind of a neat feature. But let's see. Let's talk about some other stuff here. I was trying to see. One thing I wanted to talk about. Let me switch to another session here. In my .bash rc file in my home directory, I have it open in NeoVim right now. This section here is really what we want to look at. Okay. This is telling Bash that when I type ls to automatically set the colors to differentiate between directories and files. So you can customize that even more, but that's just a very special one. You can also, what I'm doing here is I'm creating an alias of itself. So I can say alias ls and then put the ls command I want there. But I've kind of made there's other aliases set up down here like ll for, let's go back to that one. Let's hit control. It's clear, and I type ll, that alias I have set up. It gives that full listing, okay? And then let's go back. So you can set aliases in your bash RC file, okay? And this allows you to dictate what you want the default behavior to be for ls. And you can do this with any command. Like, same thing with grep. I have the color set to auto where it will auto turn on, and this should be set up already in your bash.rc file. But if it's not, you can set these up, and so that's how you can control. How you want. Like if I want it to always be a listing, I can come in here. I remember my insert. Let's put L. Escape, and then we'll do a write. Okay, and let's flip over to the other one. And let's do a source. Tilde means your home directory. I think this is right. That's what I say. What that did, that reloaded my bash RC file without having to close the session and reopen it. That's what the source program does. So now if I type ls, see I get the long listing instead of the horizontal one. So that's how you can control what you want to see, kind of default parameters for each command. And one other thing, let me save this. Okay. What did I do here? Escape. Still getting used to NeoVim. Roll page up. I wanted to show how you can combine commands, which is very important long term. I have a section in the article about pro tips, and we're using the pipe operator, okay? And so what piping does is it takes the output of the first program, like ls, and it sends it to the second program for input. Okay, so for instance, if I was trying to think of a good little example. Let's do ls grep. Okay, so that what you're seeing here is the output from grep, not ls. Okay, so what happened was ls piped it into grep, and then grep processed it and found those files and listed them out for you.
What is the backslash dot. What does the backslash do? What is it? What is the string or the $sign doing?
That's just an escape character that to say look for all the .txt
Okay.
files. Yeah.
So wouldn't that be the
Otherwise,
same as like putting like an asterisk on both ends, or is that
exactly.
same?
You
Okay.
could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, what I've touched on this evening is just like the tip of the iceberg. But the thing I want you to walk away from here with is that all of these commands, you can set up default values for them in your bash RC file or whatever processor you're using, its configuration file. And so that allows you to get the output you need, or you can set up additional aliases like I have, like LL, which shows that instead of that. Oh, I still have it. I got to source it. Let's see. Where are you? There you are. Man, can't type tonight.
It's late.
So yeah, that's what the default output looks like, right? Whereas LL will give you this. And that's just an alias of LS. Does anyone have any questions? I mean, this is pretty basic stuff, but a lot of people don't know this. So
No, I think that's
I
pretty
thought
cool.
it was,
The what is it? So I use okay, LL does work. So I use the fish shell. That doesn't use bash
Right.
RC for the configuration, right?
no, it has its own configuration file. But most distributions use bash. So that's really about it. I'll be doing another one in another week or two on a different command, and well, I don't know yet which one I'm going to do. But if anybody wants to know about a specific command, more about it, let me know here or in Discord, and I'll write a little article about it.
So if I can vote, I think something that helped me out early on in my Linux life was the link command, soft links and hard links, and when you use what. So that might be a cool one to use. So for instance, and I don't recommend that you start doing this, but let's say probably it's less important now for numerous reasons. But one of the things that I found very valuable was sometimes you'd install like a package and it wanted a specific version of library that was older and it was not provided for your distribution. Again, with Flatpaks, it's not an issue. But then you can create links to different .so, what are those? .so .so.1, .2, whatever.
Yeah, the libraries, yeah.
Yeah, those libraries. So you can create different links, like soft links to libraries, so that it'll make the application happy, although it's not necessarily what it wants. It's close enough, can get you running the application, and you forget that you ever did that. So when you upgrade it later, you're like, why isn't it working? Anyway,
Right.
But it's links. I think are a good one to learn how these things like you can do these things to kind of get around issues. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely cover that. I definitely wanted to cover some of the basics first, and especially from people coming from Windows over to Linux, I think it's pretty important because some of the commands are a little different, like, there's no delete and there's no copy. There's RM and CP, right?
Right.
And
so those are good to use. I think maybe like making directories. Also, maybe deleting directories, which is different because you have to use the dash capital R to do that. Good? Yeah.
Yeah, most commands will operate in recursion too. Even the ls command, you can put a dash capital R behind it, and it will give you a directory of that directory that you're listing and all the subdirectories also.
Ooh, we could probably use that. Then if you pipe that into a grep for a specific file, that's another way to search then. That'd be like find. That's pretty cool.
So the pipe is kind of the key. That's one of the cores of these Nix OSs that from the early days that you still allow, and you can still do it, and I even do it, is I build workflows using commands like that. and it makes it really easy to process stuff.
Yeah.
So, question: why would you do all of that typing and stuff in a terminal when I can just open the file manager and have a look at the files in the directory?
Well, because there's times when you need to do specific things, and
Like,
if you want to copy or if you want to process a certain group of files that are specific to whatever task you're doing, yeah, you can do that in the GUI by doing a search and narrowing it down. But in the time that you've done that, you could have completed this like 10 times over.
if you can remember all of the commands and know how to work like that.
Well, that's why you
Sure.
set up aliases, is so you can create things that you do that work for you, right?
Yeah, I've always been a point and click person, and a reason for that is as I've got older, my memory's got worse,
Right.
and I would have forgotten all of those aliases. Whereas I can still look at something and click on it and know what to do with it. It's just a visual thing.
Yeah, but see, what the stuff you're doing is, a lot of times when a user is just moving files, yeah, you can do all, no problem. It's no big deal. But there's times when you have to go beyond that.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah,
but then I would be the person who tried to find a GUI version of that. So if I needed to find multiple files of the same name across multiple directories, I would use fsearch.
Right.
Rather than
the thing that you get back to is it's faster. I mean, it's faster in the terminal if you can remember the command, and you remember the commands by using them. That's how you remember.
So
I'll ask you that question in another 25 years, Mike.
I hear you.
The other thing too, like why for me it's important is I've created small bash scripts that just do a thing for me that I can just call from like krunner to do a function or in the terminal just to do a function very quickly. And so because I know how to navigate these files and I know how to do all these different little things, I can very quickly create my own specialized program script, not even a program, just a script that runs and puts things in such a way very rapidly just for me the way I need to. Or I think it's was it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a specific example. I've got a little job I do where I have to download a CSV file from a client about every quarter and extract certain records that match a certain pattern. And then I pipe those, I do a find on them within the file, and then I pipe those out to a new file, and they get processed. And that file gets processed. So that's a good example of why you need all this, is for those type of things.
So,
Well,
Master Billy
Go ahead.
Quizboy gives another good reason. So cron job is another reason to do that. Now, I think there's graphical cron job tools you can do too, but you can open up cron tab in the terminal, and then from there you can actually go ahead and do like automated things like you want your system to do periodically, and it just makes your computer more. I don't know. You give it some things to do. It does these things for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need it, you don't need it, and there's no reason to use it, right?
Also, the big elephant in the room for using the command line in case your GUI fails on you.
Right. That's true.
Well, the other thing I like about CLI when I do use it is a lot of times it will provide more information in one screen than what a GUI does. A GUI, you'd have to click to get them more information like permissions, where the file's located, date it was created, that type of thing. A lot of times CLI is a lot faster with that. And I mean, I use a program that's a GUI. That's PackUI, which I love. I will use it until the day I eat dirt. Well, I won't eat dirt. I'll just catch fire and turn into dust.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Mike. I'm going to put that link in the show notes for if anybody wants to check that out. I appreciate that.
Sure, no problem.
Look forward to the next Mike's Terminal Tutor time. Tutor time? I don't know. We'll come with something there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is it time for last call? So we'll go ahead and do that. So, Dale, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I finally got a chance to make a video. OpenSUSE Agama 21 has released. That is the next installer for OpenSUSE. It's in Leap, not in Tumbleweed installer. It still uses YAST. In my opinion, the 21 was a downgrade from the previous versions, and I spoke my mind on that in the mailing list. Nate was
Yes, you did.
kind of alluding to earlier. And yeah, that's all I got done this week.
I also thought it was
But
an
it's
interesting
something.
comment about the because you you made a note of how it still defaults to the X11 session, and I agreed with you initially, but then when they explained that because the remote session with Wayland is not quite right yet for unintended access or whatever, that's why
It is.
defaulting to X11. So that makes sense, but apparently that's going to be fixed here in Plasma soon.
When the SDDM replacement gets fully released.
Yep. I look forward to that. Also, by the way, I just want to comment, you were very right. The on-screen Plasma keyboard is way better.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Oh,
Way
yeah.
better.
Big
I know it
improvement.
took so long for them to do that. Like, why? I mean, it seems like it took 5 years longer than it should have.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just because they had something that kind of sort of worked, and they were just they didn't worry about it.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. Hip Dad. Appreciate your presence.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you're having me. I appreciate you inviting me and welcoming me. Mine is I actually tried Bazaar. I installed it, and I absolutely had to use it because Queen Anna Rita, she posted about Whisper, and I was curious about it, and I went to Warehouse and searched for Whisper in FlatHub, and I didn't get enough information to know I was snatching up the right application, so I went to Bazaar and did a search, and it had a complete description, the version number and everything that she gave, the 1.31, and I was able to install it. So yeah, Bazaar proved to be a little better than Warehouse in that instance. And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? It was in reference to Anna Rita. Well, never mind. Old person mind took over, and the thought is
It's all right.
gone.
It will present itself when it's ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let it cook.
That's right. Jinda.
Or rot, whichever one.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
either way, it's kind of the
Hey.
same. Jinda can relate. Thanks for being here, Jinda.
Oh, thanks for having me around.
Yeah, you still running MX as your primary?
Yes, I am. KDE, actually, because I switched over to KDE. I wanted to try Wayland out for a while.
Okay. Sweet. Now, is it the same install? You just added the desktop environment, or how'd that work?
No, I nuked and paved.
Oh, okay.
Why?
That's
I don't
Zeb's
know.
way.
I just did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zeb likes to nuke and pave. But anyway, thanks for being here, Jinda.
Oh, thanks for having me around.
Zeb.
Yes, Nate. I'm now wondering how long it will be before Microsoft sue Q4OS and Quarkos, because when I rebooted, for one dreaded moment, I thought, oh, I can't believe this, it's booted into Windows. No, it didn't. It booted into Quarkos, but it's exactly the same boot sequence, the same logo, the same everything. And then
Oh boy.
it comes to sitting at my desktop, and even the bottom bar is now Windows 11 with your search thing and your desktop virtuals and your widgets, and your start menu is, well, Windows need to bring that start menu back because it's 10 times better than, but yeah, it totally threw me. So Quark OS, Q4 OS, be careful, boys, because there'll be a lawsuit coming along soon, because I'm pretty sure you can't do what you've just done. Muted, Nate.
I don't think Microsoft will go after them because there's no financial benefit. Like it's like a. I mean, there'd be no.
Yeah, but they
No,
I
can
guess
get
they'll
him
see
to
it as
cease and desist.
flattery.
They can get him to cease and desist without even suing him.
Oh sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep using it, and I'll keep playing around with it. But yeah, no, if I still want to get stuff done, I'll go to MX because it's just there and it works. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, MX is my new peppermint. So well done,
Sweet.
Dolphin, Oracle, and the team.
So the not having financial benefit for suing, what was the financial benefit for them suing Lindows?
It was a
Oh, I'm
different
glad
time.
they did because Lindows sucked.
So
Yeah, that's true.
it was a different time. I think the lock-in. So at that time, Microsoft was making their money off the operating system primarily, and they're not
Mhm.
making that's not where they make most of their money today. So they looked at it more as a threat. And then services now, I think the way the different services are integrated into Windows now, it's a lot harder to drop and replace Linux today than it would have been 20 years ago. So it's a little bit more of a more in an enterprise environment, I would say. You know, things like OneDrive and the Office 365 integration and such, not really great on Linux.
And back then as well, they were really hard into piracy, and it used to be a constant battle with this gimmick worked and that gimmick worked, and just as you got something else working, they would cut it off. And there's been loads of articles recently why Microsoft don't bother with that anymore, and it's just as Nate said, it's all the services that they provide. They make more money out of Office 365 and all the rest of it, and out of your telemetry than they ever could do suing somebody for mimicking their OS. So they've given up on that. It's just not worth their effort, and it's not worth their effort chasing piracy, which is why you can virtually get an MS key off of any operating system now. It's crazy. They just don't care.
I will say one more thing about it. In the legal system in the U.S., at least, as far as legality goes, if you don't defend your proprietary property, the legal system sees it as giving up on your proprietary property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there is that.
I guess it's a bit like if you squat long enough in a house, it becomes yours.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly correct. So I would expect if they're going to do anything, it'd be cease and desist, and they
Cease and
probably
desist,
won't
yeah.
go any further.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, well, thanks for being here, Zeb. I know it's up late. You're making quite a sacrifice to be here, so I do appreciate that.
No, but it's a pleasure to be back amongst you fine folks. I really am enjoying myself again. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. So full scale for me, Mike. Thanks for being here, man.
Nothing much going on. There's a rest weekend after the MX 25.2, which is basically just comes as an update to people. Nothing for them to reinstall. So
Sweet.
it's a very non-event due to very little problems. So we're happy.
A non-eventful event.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And JJ, nice blast from the past. Good to have you.
Good to be here. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen Zeb, so good to talk, see an old familiar face.
A titan.
Yeah, just exactly on the shoulders of giants. Yeah, just been browsing around the many communities and other open source stuff going around. Still using OpenSUSE Tumbleweed as my main, so on KDE.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I've been using that for a while. Been experimenting with some older computers that I got from eBay as well, and trying to navigate the chip RAM storage apocalypse that's going on right now.
Ah, yeah. When you say older, what do you mean by older? I'm just for perspective. I'm just curious.
Ultrabook ish. So like the Latitude 70, specifically Latitude 7370s, and some ThinkPads.
Okay, so like 7th generation Intel then.
7th generation, just out of scope for Windows 11.
Okay, yeah, those are still very capable. I still run a couple of 4th generation, and they're really not that much slower for regular day-to-day operations in Linux anyway. Plasma, like I mean, I think they're still perfectly capable. Not necessarily for streaming and things like this, but like everything else. Okay, maybe not gaming. You can still do Minecraft. But anyway. Anyway, so thank you very much for being here. Mike Chilson.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you taking the time to do all the do the terminal thing.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
We need a proper name for it though. So
Yeah, we got to come up with a good name for it.
Yeah.
So, let's see,
some
what
kind
have
of
I been up
alliteration
to?
would be good.
All I've been up to lately, the last week or two, is coding, then coding. That's what I've been
Sweet.
doing.
So not much.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're having fun.
I wouldn't call it that, but I am getting paid, so okay.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here. Do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, I have a podcast called Linux Out Loud. You can check that out. Also, website cubiclink.com. The show notes will be up after that. And one of these days, I'll actually be able to write or finish an article that I've been working on. Several. So, all right. I want to thank you all for your support, however you do it, being a part of the conversation about this Discord voice chat and the YouTube stream, as well as everyone for watching the show after the fact. I also want to thank everyone involved in making Linux and open source tools possible for us to not only have this conversation, but also to have fun and enjoy our technology. Linux truly puts personal back into personal computer. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to tip your developers, and please remember to Linux responsibly. Until next time, see you.
Bye for now.
Later on.
Auf Wiedersehen.